All right, welcome to Time for 13 in 13. We're here to talk about episode 5, the Tsuranga Conundrum.
Tsuranga Conundrum?
Tsuranga, there you go. The Tsuranga Conundrum. I knew I'd messed that up.
That was close. That was good. All right, that's fine.
We're going to talk about the entire episode in and only in 13 minutes.
Which starts in 14 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get rolling.
Yes.
All right, so the Tsuranga Conundrum, a.k.a.
Okay, we got a couple. Ready? First one.
Okay.
Stripe in space. You got to be a Gremlins fan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, Doctor and Stitch.
Oh, okay.
All right. Number 3, The New Adventures of Avocado Pear.
It's the same thing too. I'm like, I want to see that. I want to see the Adventures of Avocado Pear.
But the one I'm going with is,
okay,
and I'm cheating a little bit, the Tsuranga Adiposium.
Ooh. Okay, you're gonna have to break that down for me.
So basically, here's the deal. Adipose, man.
Sure.
These are adipose. And I just kept thinking the conundrum symposium, and I just kept and in my head I was like, adiposium. Like, we're gonna go to the adiposium on Tsuranga. I don't know where that is or what we'll talk about, but there we are. Kind of how I summarized this episode.
Yeah, this was the most straight Doctor Who story they've done. Like,
oh, absolutely.
This was like, I mean, like, this is the first one I felt like I read somebody talking about Doctor Who basically saying, I'm ready for Doctor Who, the current season of Doctor Who, to stop proving that it's Doctor Who. And like in this episode, I feel they did that. I feel like they're like, all right, now we're just telling story, because not to dismiss anything, but you could plug any doctor into this and you could tell an interesting story.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's what, in television terms, is what's called a bottle episode, which is like basically everything is contained within one set. They usually use that to save money, but obviously here it's the exact opposite, because they had to build this huge, elaborate, beautiful set, and then periodically tear it down.
And obviously this is also classically the base under siege.
Yes.
No, not a base, but we've had these before.
Yes.
So yeah, no, very interesting. Here's my okay, we'll do the quick plot summary.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Take a breath. Our TARDIS team, after getting intestinally blown up by a sonic mine, is picked by a hospital spaceship inhabited by 2 nurses, Junior, Bishop, and a brother and sister who must band together to fight off a deadly ravenous alien teddy bear who will eat their ship into oblivion before families are saved and hope is renewed.
Oh,
okay. So in case you're wondering what I'm talking about character-wise, the pregnant dude is Junior, which is a really horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Okay.
That you may have to look up. And the alien is Bishop. The android dude.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking this is Bishop.
I was waiting for them to do a turn.
I'm waiting for the Pting to jump into him and rip him in two.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
When you said that thing about your first alternate title about being Stripe, but that first thing I saw, I'm like, oh, it's a gremlin. That's what I thought too. Not necessarily just that it looked like a gremlin from the movie Gremlins, but actually that's what it was. Like, it was basically a gremlin. It was a thing that destroyed machines. It was just like where the name came from, gremlin. But yeah, it was. I had this episode pegged wrong the entire way. Like, I really thought every time I would think, oh, they're doing this. No, they wouldn't be doing that. Oh, they're doing that. No, they weren't doing that. Like, they did a nice job of playing with a bunch of different tropes at the same time, so you didn't know exactly what it was they were doing.
Well, again, this is an episode where there's some really great things, some things that I'm really not so sure about, and some other things that I just think are pointless. Like, okay, the doctor is hurt, obviously. Her spleen is like regurgitated, whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently that was for no reason other than to have Jodie Whittaker kind of like, I mean, really? Like, that's it. Like, I fully expected maybe there was going to be like another Pting was going to like burst out of her right at the end. But I was like, okay, I guess not.
I thought it would debilitate her at some point. Like, she would push herself too hard and collapse, or like that when she needed to pull a switch at a time or whatever, she would be in so much pain she wouldn't get to it or something. But yeah, after a certain point, it just kind of goes away.
Exactly. I mean, like, it was just weird that, and some of the characters, well, we can talk a little bit of the characters. So our character rundown, so our companions, we get a little bit more about Ryan. And Yaz gets, and I hate to do another Alien reference, she gets to get a little semi-Ripley moment there when she's defending the warp core, right? Graham is kind of subdued, and I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, they're kind of when he's not that's focused, they're doing a nice job of like throwing to him. Like basically like they just volley something over his way and he'll hit it back. He always has a good line or something like that. He's become their go-to comic relief guy, which is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think this was a great moment for him, and just very subdued and subtle. But then here, the interesting thing about the characters is, okay, you have Cicero the general, Durkas her brother, the robot Ronan, Yas is the pregnant man, Mably is the female nurse, and Astos, the male nurse, who arguably the best of all of the characters, dies in the first 12 minutes.
Right, surprise.
Like, okay, all right.
That was a good twist. I'm like, oh wow, they really actually killed him. They were doing such a good job of building him up and him and the doctor's rapport, and they were sort of keeping the nurse in the background, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh wait,
he pulled Steven Seagal in Executive Decision, which again, spoiler,
that's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut right there. Anyway, never mind. So no, but I mean, look at. I mean, we had a little bit. This was not an episode.
Or Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea. I knew I'd come up with.
Oh, there you go. There's a more relevant.
You think they're going the way, and then they even though that's probably like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know what the modern equivalent would be.
An Executive Decision. So no, but you know what I mean. Like, look, it was good characters. We got a little bit of all of our companions got to take a break. A little bit, like I said, more into Ryan with his mom, and obviously, we understand.
It was that was inelegantly done.
Yes, correct.
But it was so well performed that I kind of like, all right, I'll allow it. Because it was such a sort of ham-handed way to get to that information. But I did like what he was going through and like seeing a young dad and that kind of stuff. It was just like, and now let's all pull up a chair to do some exposition.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Going a little bit about the doctor. Okay, so again with losing the TARDIS.
Yeah, I know. Like, I was like, I just got it back, and
okay, all right.
But they're interesting because the doctor. Well, you could say the doctor is a Deus Ex Machina, but because I mean she's God in a box. But it's she has the two things that sort of the solve my problems thing, and one of them is TARDIS, which everybody can just get on board and go, and so you have to do something to get away, and then you have the sonic screwdriver, which in this one it comes and goes. So I kind of like that too, that they don't have it that it automatically can solve all of her problems.
Right.
And, first time she uses it, it gets eaten and then sucked to dry, and then it repairs itself.
It reboots itself. How about that? That's impressive.
Yeah.
And we have so what I think is we have maybe the best. I'm surprised we got to it so quickly in the season, but it has obviously been something that's defining this doctor. Her ability to admit she's wrong.
Yes. And
we get the ultimate moment of that I don't think we've ever seen. The argument with Astos, you're being hostile, selfish. I have a little bit of this. There's patients who need this. My job is to keep them safe, and you're stopping me from doing that. And she gives the full on, you're right.
Oh, you're right.
You're right. Yeah. Sorry. Boom. Like, very refreshing. Yeah. I know there's people who will be critical of that. I think it's incredibly refreshing for the character.
I think so too. Where she actually takes a second and went, oh, you know what? In this situation, you're right. I was wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm all cool with that.
I also loved when I have the list here, when she says that she's a doctor of medicine, science, engineering, candy floss, which to us would be cotton candy, Lego, philosophy, music, problems, people, and hope, but mostly hope.
Now that's great. And she has a couple of great ones. There's some couple here in the phrases I have, but the Lego just made me laugh. I'm a big fan of Lego, and that's awesome. Okay, so like the wibbly wobbly stuff. So the effects, the music are off the chart. The Pting, the way it's rendered is gorgeous.
Yeah, like they had it moving around the set, and it was like the lighting changes stuff too, and having it manipulate stuff around there. I mean, like obviously, if you're thinking of comparing this to like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom or something, yeah, okay. But like this is BBC television budget.
Come on, this
is great. Those guys are doing amazing work.
Okay,
with the amount of time and money they have.
Well, and the opening shot and the other stuff and the set. That was a gorgeous set.
Yeah, it really was. No, I wish we could come back to that ship.
No, that was just incredibly well done. And then our other little, I know people have picked this out online. So when she comes back to the main console room and they do the scan of the Pting, if you slow it down frame by frame, the database has like 7 other well-known
I have
monsters.
that here on the wiki. They have a list too. They say you can see a Cyberman, an Ood, a Weeping Angel, a Raxaconica Falapatorian, a Centauran, a Silent, a Silurian, and a Zygon.
Okay, and the greatest thing about that, go check it out.
Pting.
Yeah, go check it out online. The Silurian is a classic Who Silurian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I thought was incredibly funny, and I mean that's respect for the classic Who. That's very nice. and obviously we got these little seeds that we're dropping that this is connected to the bigger universe, and I'm sure we're going to get there at some point in a New Year special or next season or so. I mean, if anybody's worried about that,
I also like that they take the time. It also seems to be a recurring thing this season. They take the time to talk about science.
Yes,
like it's not ham-handed. In terms of like but they do a nice job of like, let's talk about some real science in addition to all the other wobbly timey stuff that we have going on.
The fact that we are having real education in these episodes, and for nothing more, if you're a young child and you're watching the show and you hear something like, "Yeah, we're going to take this. This is the version of the Hearn Collider put down into an iPhone."
Right.
You should
be
inspired. You should seek out your craft because we need to get there.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
And also, I like the fact that Yaz wasn't also like, what? I don't understand. What is an antimatter?
No,
I mean, she's like she knew as much as a human or a person would know. She wasn't ignorant of it. So I love that.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. That would totally love that. Okay, phrases of the episode. Okay. Number 1. Sorry, not really up on privacy indicators. Which I really enjoyed that. I love Graham. Graham, that's Graham's quote of the episode. Are you also experiencing comprehension deficiency? I love that.
That should be on a shirt.
That's a really great one. And so the sentimental one, the 2 that I found, I thought were, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be there. Ryan about, T-Boss. And then she has the doctor has this great thing where she all talks about how important it is to problem solve. And it all comes down to whole world's pivot on acts of imagination.
Yeah, that's another
good stuff. Yeah. As much as there's middling parts of this episode, the theme of hope, do not lose hope, even in hopeless situations, you'll figure it out if you just maintain a spark of hope. It's good. Look, it's good. Is it a perfect episode? No. But I mean, it
is a solid piece of Doctor Who.
Exactly.
Like, it is a solid episode that you could put up with any of the rest of them.
I would agree.
We're running out of time, but I think we just got to it. So good. Do you have anything left on your list?
No, that was it.
Okay, all right. So, we see a little preview for next time. It looks like we're going back into Yaz's history.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? I couldn't tell if it was her grandparents. I think they're going back to visit.
I think it's grandparents. Could be older.
A little bit of Indian history.
Like yes,
which I don't know anything about. So that'll be interesting to me.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So yeah, it was a solid. So I would say in our list of things, I would put it at fantastic. So 4 out of 5. I would say a 3, a 3 only, but the performances and the set construction, everything, I think push it up to a 4.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. I know that some people might be turned off by some of the pacing and the weird stuff, but man, you can't deny how gorgeous this looks.
Yeah, and I can tell you after watching it, my wife was like, God, I just love her. She really has cemented in her role of how she's doing the Doctor, and I'm all for it.
There we go.
So, all right. Well, thank you all for listening. We actually did this one pretty close to time.
Hey, we're getting there.
We're getting better. So we will see you next time.